Hi, my name is Adam Shoemaker, rector here at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in downtown Charleston, welcoming you back for another edition of Rector's Corner. And I'm so very happy to have with me today vestry member Claire Monahan, who is the chair of our Bicentennial Committee. And we're going to be talking a little bit today about the events that will help us to mark this great milestone, 200 years of life and ministry in downtown Charleston, 200 years of us striving in so many different ways to truly be a house of prayer for all God's people. Thank you so much, Claire, for being here and making the time. I wonder if you could just begin by saying who has been helping you to plan for these bicentennial events.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for having me. And yes, I am thrilled to be planning this event for St. Stephen's this year. And I have a great committee that's been working with me. We've been doing a lot of meeting and planning this past year. It's all leading up until now. And so I've had Edmund Monroe and Thelma Shine, Diane Agapour, Joey Fronenberger, Walker Smith, and Cindy Held, and Courtney Davis Shoemaker from our clergy has been helping. And we've had meetings and we're excited to get the planning rolling for this full year ahead. And we've had some really exciting ideas come forward from our parish as well, but we have a few things that are already concrete on the schedule. So I'm excited to share those today.
So let's go right into it because I know many people in the parish are excited to hear about how we will mark this milestone. What are some of the significant events that people should put down in their calendar for this year?
This year we went ahead and we looked at it from a quarterly standpoint. After Easter, our big event that we're kicking off with is the Emma Watson Barbecue on Sunday, May 15th. And as many know, that's an annual tradition for our parish. And so we're really excited to elevate that even more with bicentennial celebrations, along with everything celebrating Emma Watson's life and her legacy for our church. So that's the first one on the calendar that we invite everybody to save the date. So go ahead and mark those. The next one is Sunday, June 5th, and we are going to be hosting a Pentecost picnic. So I think that one's pretty self-explanatory, but it's going to be really fun. All of these are very family friendly. We encourage everyone to come out, all ages. And that one will definitely be outside, celebrating a kickoff to summer too. And of course, Pentecost for our church on that Sunday. And then the next one is Friday, September 30th, and that whole weekend will be all things bicentennial. And I would like to credit Joey Fronenberger too for the research that he did for finding out that September 30th for St. Stephen's was an official launch of our building. So while we never really are 100% clear on what the official start date was for our congregation inside our first facilities, we know that that was the date that a cornerstone was laid. So we decided Friday, September 30th was a great day to make it be our official bicentennial celebration. And so that's going to be an evening party. And we are planning that from 5:30 to 9:30 at the Camden Room, which is right up Mating Street next to the Visitors Center facility. So there are neighbors. Really, we can walk from church to that facility. It's a beautiful venue that's connected to the bus shed. So if everybody knows where the bus shed is, you'll know where that venue is. And that planning is really underway. We're working on getting caterers lined up and event planners and decorations and all of the fun music and celebratory things that go on with that kind of party.
It's a great location.
It is a great location, and there's parking nearby, which is really convenient. And if anybody wants to go on to dinner afterward, we were planning to have heavy hors d'oeuvres and drinks. But it's a great spot just to get out to downtown Charleston as well from there. And that weekend is going to be, we'll have a lot of other things going on. So stay tuned for other things going on Saturday. And then of course, our worship on Sunday, when we'll all be able to go together and celebrate the Bicentennial as the finale for that. And then the next date on our calendar, and we just recently added this one and I'm really excited, is a Bicentennial Evensong. And that is on Sunday, October 23rd. And so that's going to be the musical event. And we are also planning to have a stone dedication in our church. And I know you can talk some more about the explanation of all the different tablets within our church, but we have one spot left and we are going to be using that spot to dedicate a stone for the African-American members of our church and their history and their dedication to all things St. Stephen's over its past 200 years. And so that's what's on our calendar right now. And then of course, we have many other things that are in the works right now that we will be adding along the way with educational events, service events, and more.
Yeah, those are wonderful anchoring events to the year. The Emma Watson barbecue, which is always sort of a homecoming of sorts for some folks who have been important in years past at St. Stephen's. Pentecost being the birthday of the church, being an appropriate time for us to have that kind of a celebration. Love finding that cornerstone dedication date for our celebration at the end of September. And then the Evensong service that we do hope to have our new Bishop, Ruth Woodliff Stanley, at to help us to dedicate that stone for that generation of saints who really labored to help keep St. Stephen's doors open, kept us from closing in the late 1980s and early 1990s. You mentioned some other thoughts aside from those anchoring events. Could you say a little bit about other things that are being thought about right now?
Sure. We are looking to intersperse some educational events throughout the year that will be most likely a roundtable format or more of a historical interview. I know that for your own research, we have many people who would love to hear about that again, especially people who are newer to our church that didn't get a chance. And then some more information, some more history and understanding about the three Sarahs who are the founders of our church, and really looking at the collective history of St. Stephen's and featuring different guests that have knowledge in particular on those historical moments that really are monumental in what makes St. Stephen's be the church that it is today. So we're hoping to have some of those, and we ask everyone to just stay tuned to the deacon, as well as our social media that we'll be able to announce whenever those events are officially on the schedule. And then some other activities that we have going on throughout the year. I'm really excited about putting together a time capsule that that we will be able to bury. And I really love the idea of this being a here and now celebration of St. Stephen's, of the people who are part of our church this year, these days, the faces, the names, the photos, everything that's going on this year, and that we can bury when our next construction phase kicks off, with the intent of it perhaps being opened for the 225th celebration of St. Stephen's. And I like the idea of that because I would hope that many members of our parish will still be around to be able to return for that, especially our youth, and be able to come back and be part of the opening of that. And again, with that celebration, looking ahead of what this year means for us. And a few other things that we have going on. We will definitely be doing a lot of digging into the stories of St. Stephen's and some of the stories that aren't necessarily on the history books, but ones that I would love to hear from the people now and in recent times who have been touched by an experience at St. Stephen's, whether they got married here, maybe they attended a baptism years ago, maybe they have photos of those experiences, or maybe they can just verbally share them through just an audio recording or a transcript, or if they're willing to write it down. I'd love to collect a living history of St. Stephen's. So that's something that I'm going to be working on throughout the year. And then with the intent of sharing those stories and the photos and the visuals at our Bicentennial Celebration throughout that whole weekend on display for everybody to be able to see and read and enjoy and return to, that maybe they haven't thought about that wedding in years that they attended. And to see the pictures of that and just be reminded of the small moments, and the huge moments that are what make our daily lives. So those are a few of the things that we have in works that are not on the calendar, but are ongoing throughout the year and are helping us celebrate the bicentennial. So that's what we're thinking.
Yeah, that's great, Claire. And our history is so rich. For those who are newer to the parish, you'll certainly want to learn more about our history, which is just so inspiring. In many respects, who we've been as a congregation is what drew me and my family to want to serve this congregation really at every stage of our 200-year history. We really have been a church that's always reached out to those on the margins. And I would love to capture the stories of the saints of St. Stephen's who are in our pews today. And hopefully, as we do some of these history pieces throughout the year, as the year moves on, we can celebrate who St. Stephen's is in this time, that hopefully will inform where we go for the next 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought I'd ask this question as we begin to wrap up. It's a question I've found myself asking many people in these Rector's Corners interviews. I wonder how it's been to try to plan for this bicentennial as this COVID-19 pandemic has continued to rage, and we've gone through the roller coaster ride of successive variants. How has that experience been?
It has been surreal. I'm fortunate to have a committee and Courtney to lean on through all of this. We have gone through multiple different phases of planning and had to scratch some of the original visions for it. But I think what we have put together here is still a really wonderful way for us to celebrate St. Stephen's, all that it is, our mission, which is deeply important to who we are. And it's been a challenge at those times, but we've learned to adapt, just like everyone has had to. And I think the flexibility of these events allows us to safely celebrate. Mm-hmm. And we've definitely taken a lot of that into account. And we've also been talking to our resident parish doctors for mm-hmm. advice on when it's safe to do these events, what are other ways that we need to think about it. And so we've been doing lots of consulting, and I'm excited about the plan that we have. I think it's we don't turn 200 very often, and this allows us to still be able to be together, whether some of these are intended virtually or in person. It's still going to be a really exciting time.
And I assume if there are folks in the parish who would like to volunteer, there's opportunities for that?
Yes, we would love to have volunteers for any of these specific events, or if you just want to be working with me and helping us keep keep the schedule moving along. You can send me an email or Courtney an email. My email address is dclairemonahan@gmail.com. And I'm easy to reach out to on social media or anything as well. But I would love to have other people involved, and I'd love to hear people's stories. I would love to start building that collection of photos and visuals that we'll be able to share at the Bicentennial Celebration itself. So I invite any and all contributions in any shape and form. So yes, please reach out to me anytime this year.
Terrific. Well, Claire, thank you so much for making the time for this interview. Thank you so much for your leadership. Should be a wonderful year. And as Claire said, please look to the deacon, to social media. At times we'll put things out on all parish emails. There'll be announcements at church, but certainly mark your calendars for the major dates that we have noted today. I will be back with another edition of Rector's Corner shortly. In the meantime, friends, stay safe and well, and you keep the faith. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.